So welcome back to Cafe con Diana, where we talk about all things business while having a cafecito. I'm about to make some. So I got this question, and I think it's a really interesting question because I get it a lot. What is my favorite tech tool? My favorite tech tool, project management system that I use, and then like people usually give their preferred or the ones that they're currently using. You guys are not gonna like my response because it really depends. So it depends because it depends on what you are going to be using this project management system for. Is it for yourself? Is it for a solo business? Are you a freelancer? Are you creating your own business? Are you, like, what are we working with, right? So personally, I'm not a fan of Asana. I think that Asana works great if you're doing very traditional project management and you work maybe with a team or by yourself. However, Asana is very rigid in their infrastructure and their structure and how they structure their tech. So there's not much customization you can do, right? It's limited with what you can do with the system, with the tech. Something like a ClickUp is much more flexible and you can do a lot more with it, right? I personally use Notion. I think Notion is great. I think Notion and ClickUp have very similar functionality. ClickUp has just a little bit more automations and integrations, but that's changing very quickly with Notion. And then the only other thing between Notion and ClickUp, Notion actually has more flexibility with how you use it, right? There's less infrastructure than there is in ClickUp, which can overwhelm people. Other tools that I really like Monday.com. I think that can work with the right team. There's enough flexibility in there that it works really well. And then the other really big one that people always come to me talking about is Trello. And I'm not a fan of Trello. In the same way that I'm not a fan of Asana. Can it work? Yes. But there is a very rigid infrastructure with Trello. And like that comes with because they were one of the first ones out there like for the people, right? Like Trello and Asana were the big ones that were out years and years and years ago. You know, so they had a really rigid infrastructure. Now things are so much more flexible. And like that's just it, right? Like they're trying to go back and like add more flexibility into their infrastructure, but it's hard to do that like retroactively. And then the other one that I really like is Airtable. I'm not a huge fan of it for project management, but I think Airtable as a system is great. It's a great database. It's a great way to share data. It's a great way to collect responses and analyze and do all that stuff. It could also make a great client portal. So what do you need your systems for? We can dive in deeper.